Welcome back, America. We pride ourselves on this show on bringing as many truth tellers as we can every day so that you can get the real facts. And our next guest did that for 4 consecutive years, where the Biden administration lied to us and told us our border was closed and safe and secure. Art Del Cueto, as a member of the Border Patrol and as one of its senior executives in the Border Patrol Union, he came on each time and gave us the truth, the facts, the numbers, the reality at the border. He just recently retired as a Border Patrol agent. He's now a senior border security advisor for the Federation for American Immigration Reform, but he's still telling us the truth. That's why early this year, we were very honored to give him the first ever Messenger Award from the American Border Heroes Project. We're excited to welcome Art back to the show today. Art, good to have you on, my friend.
Thank you so much, Sean. And as you mentioned, you gave me that award, and I keep it proudly here in my home. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for that again.
It was one of my favorite nights. I watched you come on, and I know the duress that the Biden administration and the Homeland Security Department put on the Border Patrol, but you every day came on and told us the truth, no matter the consequences, and we were grateful for that. And today, I think we have to get to another truth, and that is that same group of people that opened the border, they've created an ideology that seems to have inspired people to shoot at ICE agents who are simply doing their job enforcing laws on the book. Your thoughts on what happened in Dallas today and what it may portend for the future?
No, unfortunately, you're right, and they keep fanning the flames. Governor Newsom down in California was saying recently, what are the ICE agents afraid of? Don't use masks. Well, this is exactly what I would honestly say I'd be afraid of. Look, you have a bunch of lunatics out there that are not afraid to face any type of consequences and come after agents with these types of deadly situations. We've heard about obviously what happened this morning. It was a horrific event, but I'm going to tell you, John, there's other events that have happened that they haven't reported. There's been shootings at Border Patrol stations. There's been one in the Tucson sector where somebody drove by the station and shot at the station down in 3 Points. There was also reports of suspicious activity, and they're constantly having to do with bomb threats. So this is the reality of what we're living in. We have idiots out there that are coming after law enforcement. We have politicians that have fanned those flames, and they're not saying anything against it. That's what's just upsetting to me. And all in all, you have agents' lives at risk every day. They're already at risk when they're out there working the field, and they got cartel members and everyone else coming after them. But now we have to worry about these domestic terrorism that are coming after agents as well. And unfortunately, individuals lost their life today, and it could have been much more tragic. But I think, unfortunately, that's going to be the norm. They're going to have to take more precautions. We're going to have to worry more about the perimeters of where these ICE facilities are, and start paying attention to what businesses as well pop up around the area.
Yeah, that is so troubling that we have to go to the extra effort of securing the people who secure us because people are out there taking pot shots. Political messaging on the ammunition, we've seen that a few times now, all of them with leftist ideology in the most recent episodes. How do we start a national conversation to make sure that people like Gavin Newsom, when he calls ICE a private domestic army, which is not what it is at all, it's not even remotely true, how do we start a conversation that starts to roll back this heated rhetoric that inspires the mentally ill and others to take these incredible, heinous actions?
Look, unfortunately, I think there's some people that no matter what you tell them, they're not gonna turn back and admit that they were wrong. We saw it during the Biden administration. For the longest time, they sat there and they said that the border was secure. It wasn't until they started seeing the polls where the American people were tired of the open border policies that they started saying, okay, maybe we do have a problem. Perhaps we need to do something about it. So you have these individuals that have dug their heels and they've pushed themselves to believing their own lies. You're not going to change everyone's mind, but I think our job is to continue to push forward real stories and tell them, look, convince as many people of the truth as we can, or else this is going to continue to go on more so. And you bring up a fantastic point. When you're seeing them carve, messages into the bullet shells, that shows you these people are boasting about what they're doing.
That's right.
They're not shy. They're not hiding it. They want people to know what their ideology is, and they want people to know why they're doing it. And on federal issues like this, when there's a shooting, I assure you there's going to be many entities. It's different than when it's just one single agency or a local agency. On a federal matter, John, you're going to have the FBI involved, Office of Inspector General, different investigative entities from within the agency of ICE itself, and then you have the local authorities. So I'm afraid it's going to be a while before we get a clear picture of motive and if anybody else was involved or what groups this individual may have been a part of. But you're going to get a very good explanation, I believe, at the end when all the investigation is completed.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And it probably is going to be a difficult one, just like the explanations we're getting from Charlie Kirk's assassin are. We're living in an era where we've apparently made it okay to take your political differences and turn it into an execution strategy. And that's just not the America that we deserve to be. When you look around now, you talked about some of the countermeasures that'll have to happen, increased security, maybe changing routes, creating rooftop snipers, I guess. I don't know, counter sniper teams. What are some of the things that you think probably Congress needs to do to make sure that ICE can protect itself? Because it happens on the streets too. ICE agents are out there, they're getting things thrown at them. It's a very dangerous moment to be an ICE agent right now.
It definitely is, but I think we need to start prosecuting people. Yep. If you got individuals that do the slightest type of attack on an agent, if there is some type of threat, we need to go after those individuals and have them face serious consequences. And Congress is not, the ICE agents and Border Patrol agents aren't alone. I've been seeing, there's been groups that have been going to certain Congress members' homes and protesting outside their homes as well. So there is, unfortunately, a lot of issues going on in this country, and we got to make sure that we all keep our head in the swivel. And at the same time, when you identify those types of threats, there needs to be real consequences, not just something of, hey, we questioned them and they weren't going to do anything anyway. We need to have real consequences on any one of these individuals that are expressing any hatred and real threats towards law enforcement, towards politicians, honestly, on both sides of the aisle. But what we've been seeing is one side of the aisle being a lot more vicious than the other and coming after and wanting to use deadly force against a lot of individuals.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It is a head scratcher, but there is a lot of responsibility to go around, and those who are responsible don't seem to appreciate what they've done to wind up these people to take this action. Art, before we let you go, there's a lot of success to brag about, something we couldn't do during the Biden years, but the borders are so much more secure. Millions of people have either self-deported or are being deported. And it seems like in the early efforts, the worst people, the people who had the greatest propensity to create additional crimes, we're targeting them first and getting them out. How much more secure are we today than 8 months, 9 months ago when Donald Trump took over?
Look, I'm really glad you brought that up because there's been a lot of back and forth going on about ICE agents and Border Patrol agents going out there and arresting people that don't have a criminal record.
Yep.
And that's simply not true.
It's not true.
They're arresting all individuals that were here illegally. That in itself is a crime. And what you need to remember that a lot of these new targeted enforcement that agents are having to go through, it's because of the arrest and the intel that they did on those that had serious criminal backgrounds. When you arrest individuals, they're quick to point the finger at their neighbor, at their coworker, and everyone else. And you cannot forget about those, and you can't just ignore them. So law enforcement is doing everything they can and arresting as many individuals that they see are here illegally. And at the end, they came across, asked for asylum. They wanted their day in court. They're getting that day in court. It's just that they're showing that they really didn't have an asylum claim, and now they're getting deported.
Yeah, well, that's it. The bluff has finally been called. Art Del Cueto, it is always an honor to have you on this show. I am grateful for all the truth you have told us these last 5 years, and I know we have a lot more truth-telling ahead of us, but thanks for joining us, and congratulations to FAIR. They got a good one when they got you, so good to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, my friend. Folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I promised at the beginning of the show we're going to deliver it. The great Bill O'Reilly next. He's got a great new book, Confronting Evil. What a great conversation to have at this very moment. We'll have that next, but after these messages.